Lake Wardell Freedom Camp is 10 kilometres north of Twizel, directly off State Highway 8. I stayed here after leaving Tekapo and I loved this camp. The Freedom Camp is for certified self-contained vehicles only. It's a beautiful location and there were about 20 other campers when I stayed the night. Not all tourists rent self-contained vehicles, which means they can't stay at a camp like this, which is why I recommend you hire a self-contained vehicle when you travel New Zealand so you don't miss out on sites like this one. The sign at the entrance when you turn off from State Highway 8 doesn't mention this as a campsite, it just shows the rest stop symbol on it. I used Google Maps to navigate here and it told me to turn off State Highway 8 onto Pukaki Canal Road to get to Lake Wardell, but if you do this you'll have to drive down this steep bank to get to the Freedom Camp. It's easier to just enter the camp using the main entrance where I've circled in orange on the map, as this entrance is flat and leads straight from the highway to the camp. So don't follow what Google Maps tells you to do, just enter where I've circled on the map here. The canal is a stunning turquoise colour, the same colour as Lake Tekapo, and it's popular as a fishing location. I saw several people relaxing with fishing rods around the canal. I'd love to try fishing one day. The responsible camping rules in this district state there is a 3-night maximum stay, which means you're allowed to stay for a maximum of 3 nights in a 30-day period. And as I said, it's a freedom camp, so it is free, there's no cost to stay here. The Freedom Camp offers a long drop toilet, which means it is not a flushing toilet, just a pit toilet. Most people use their own caravan toilets though, as there's a requirement to be self-contained, so everyone had their own toilets on board. There is no fresh water tap here, so you'll need to bring your own water for drinking, cooking, dishes and showers. I saw some campers fetch water straight from the canal in buckets to pour into their caravan water tanks. I wasn't sure whether this was allowed or not, and New Zealand's amended certified self-contained rules are quite strict, and I didn't want to get fined for taking the water, so I emailed the local council to ask them if it was allowed. They wrote back saying, "Ask the owner of the canal." So that was completely unhelpful, and I still don't know if you're allowed to take the water, but others were doing it. The canal water looked beautiful and fresh, but you should always boil the water before drinking it, or use water sterilization tablets to kill the E. coli that's present in the waterways in this region due to the farming. I didn't end up taking any of the water from the canal as I'd already brought water with me and I was staying only one night. There is no dump station, so you'll need to take your grey water and black water to the nearest dump station, which is the Twizel dump station 10 kilometres away. I'll show photos and a map of the dump station at the end of the video. You can't light fires here and you must take all rubbish and waste with you. Those who break the rules or stay in a vehicle that's not certified self-contained can be issued a fine of $200 in this region. There was a community patrol officer who drove around the park, so don't risk staying here if you're not self-contained, as the officers do random checks and issue fines. There are plenty of places to choose from to park, either under the trees or in open areas. The place I parked in was perfectly level. I left my vehicle hitched to the caravan for the night, which saved the hassle of unhitching and hitching again the next day. New Zealand motor caravan camps and holiday parks require caravanners to unhitch, which I find is a lot of extra work if I'm staying just one night and leaving in the morning. I had plenty of space here to park and stay hitched. The great thing about freedom camps is you're not expected to check out at 10 AM the way holiday parks expect you to, so you can sleep in and stay until midday if you feel like it. This freedom camp is close to State Highway 8, but the traffic didn't bother me at all at night. I found it quiet and peaceful, and the trees provided protection from the wind, so I had a nice sleep. I also felt safe here. The only thing that made me feel unsafe was that 2 of the campers had aggressive dogs with them that were off lead. Both the owners of the aggressive dogs that were left off lead were NZMCA members, and the dogs growled and barked at people who were walking past, which is completely unacceptable in a public park. It's a shame to see people with aggressive antisocial dogs, as it ruins the camping experience for everyone and puts people in danger. NZMCA members are supposed to be setting a good example for tourists about how to camp in New Zealand, so this is a shame. Other than that, I felt safe and enjoyed this free campsite. I felt safer knowing there was a community patrol officer checking the park. It was great to see all of the tourists and rental camper vans were quiet and following the rules. The stars looked amazing due to the low light pollution, so it's worth going outside to look at the stars when you stay here. I wished I could stay an extra night or 2, but unfortunately I'd already booked a holiday park in Twizel, and holiday parks charge you if you cancel your booking within 24 hours. It turned out this Freedom Camp was nicer than the holiday park I went to, so I wish I'd stayed longer here at this Freedom Camp. This is the dump station in Twizel. It's located on Ruataniwha Road, which is off State Highway 8. The Foursquare supermarket also has a long vehicle parking lot outside it, which is great because if you have a caravan or a camper van, you can park in the long vehicle car park. Happy travels!